Hello. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Give everyone a few minutes to get set, get in here. Who's ready to take another day off for the week? I need more days off. Hey, everyone. Oh, good. Oh, you can't. Oh, hopefully you can hear me now, right? Hello, hello. Here we go. We had a couple hundred people sign up for this class today, so I'm trying to get everyone in before we. Oops, I may have hopefully just didn't mean to turn off your camera, Alondra. Okay, how's everyone doing? Everyone ready for this? I'm like sweating to death and it's so hot. It's hot in here. Okay, let's get you all in here. Okay, I am going to quickly share my screen just because just a few things. Oh, good. You can hear me. Okay, good. Real quickly, just before we get started, I know it's kind of a weird day because we were off yesterday for the holiday. So it's kind of weird. Well, I was off yesterday for the holiday. So I'm like super sunburned. I'm so swollen. So if I look like I'm super puffy and I've been bawling my eyes out, I haven't. I'm just fried. My poor little white skin does not love the sun so much. But I'm glad everybody was able to make it in here today. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. It's just 1 minute past. But I want to be sure that we have some time for some comments today. Over the last week, I have done, I've done nothing but looking at what other real estate agents are saying about the market, the change in the market, and just kind of wondering what the pulse is as far as the market is concerned and what agents are thinking. I have done nothing but for the last 2 weeks, like talked about mindset and your ability to have confidence, right? Like that was our last masterclass, was talking about confidence, which is one of the biggest things. You're going to find that this market is really going to expose is going to be your skills and your mindset. But the great news is this is all something that you guys can manage. You can handle this. Being positive and staying focused and staying in the business, like just staying in it, is what's most important. Don't ever let yourself go too many days without working your business. It's a very, very slippery slope, especially in this type of a market. And you'll find yourself being one of those statistics, the 87% that get out of the real estate business in 5 years. That number is mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing to me. So decide today, before you even like get on this and even get going, just decide that this is your profession. This is your career. This is what you're going to be doing. There are no other options. Okay. It has to come from you, and I can only pump you up so much, but honestly, like you knowing that you're worth it and you can make it, it's going to be the biggest thing that's going to carry you through the market. It was interesting over last week. I said to my husband, it's so weird because I'll have like moments where I'll have like a slowdown in my business a little bit. And then the minute I just start thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like that's so weird. I only have a couple listings left and all my buyers seem to be put under contract. All of a sudden, 2 more buyers and 2 more listings and then a referral. And so it's incredible how like just paying attention to what your business has to offer and what's kind of coming out in the universe. But if you want to see what the busyness is of the market, staying in the business will actually propel you forward and continue so that you can make it through these types of dips in the market. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's get started. I can see my screen. Where's here it is. Y'all can see that, right? My messy screen. Perfect. Oh my goodness, it's hot in my office. Okay, can y'all see that? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so opportunity in a shifting market. So I think that one of the biggest things too to remember when we're talking about the market is, remember, it's never going to stay status quo. It's never going to stay the same. So we can hype up all we want to about a shifting market or a depreciating market or an appreciating market. But at the end of the day, it's never going to be stagnant. Okay, there's always going to be sales happening regardless of if we're in an increasing or a depreciating market. So it's really important to kind of keep that perspective, which is why I say, your focus is what's going to be the biggest thing for you is ask yourself every single morning, what will I pay attention to today? What's the most important thing on the docket for me to do today? Like for me, I know I have a listing that's going live. It's super important for me to make sure I get my photos up, make sure that I get my ads ready to roll, right? Like making sure that everything is in line for what's going to be happening. And then who are my buyers? Who are my top 5 people who are on my list of like who I need to stay in touch with, because they're going to be doing something in the next 30 days. So it's really important for you to be super, super focused about what you should be intentional about every single day. So before I jump into that, those of you who don't know who I am, I do this really, really quickly. I promise. My name is Nicole Briggs, and I'm a real estate agent. I'm a mentor. I'm also a team lead. I've got a team of agents that work for me, all my cute gals here. I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 4 kids. My kids were ages, I tell this all the time and I always forget, 4, 5, 8, and 12 when I first started into the real estate business. So if you're a mom and you're in the real estate business and you're just feeling like you feel spread thin and you're trying to figure it out, I promise I totally get you and you can do it. You totally can do it. It's just about being focused and intentional about the specific things that need to be done every single day, every single day. I started my real estate career in 2006 on April 1st, on April Fool's Day in 2006. And I saw this list and sell market literally for 1 month. 1 month. It was like I got in and all of a sudden everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then all of a sudden crash. Like no joke. It was something that I had never seen in my lifetime. Probably, and I was probably too young to really understand. I was 31, but I didn't understand how hugely it was going to impact everything moving forward for at least for the next 10 to 15 years. Let's see, let me get these people in here. So I started in 2006 and then the market crashed, but every 3rd house was actually in foreclosure or was a short sale, which was totally fine by me. You guys, if you were following me in the last couple of weeks, remember the last couple of months, I did a masterclass on investors. Remember, the investor class is your bread and butter. That is how you survive this market. Guess what? They have cash. They're not going to be affected by interest rates. So go find yourself some investors. And if you don't know how to do it, DM me and I will share with you how to do it. But you got to just go pull some multiple unit owners from your title company, ask them for lists. You can farm them, you can, cold call them, you can prospect them. Don't knock their door because they typically don't live at their rental, okay? But those people all could be making a move in their portfolio. If they've owned them for longer than 6 or 7 years, that would be a good opportunity for you to say to them, hey, just so you know, 6 or 7 years, you owned it, you purchased it in a really great time. This may be a good opportunity for you to move your money and make a change in your portfolio because the prices are going to be a little bit different, right? And they may be at the end of their appreciation schedule or depreciation schedule, so you just never know. But investors are how you'll survive. You need a little extra leg of business and you need a little bit more, you need to find some more leads. They're going to be really the people who are going to thrive in this market. It's going to be investors. I still managed to earn a 6-figure salary, even through the pandemic. Okay. The pandemic year was my best year. I sold just 48 homes and did a little 465,000 in income. So, by all means, people make more money than me, which is totally fine. I just know what I have to do to make enough. Okay. That's a good number for me. And I only share it, not to brag, but just so that you guys can understand and put like a real person to some goals as to like, if your goal is to hit 100,000, great. Once you hit 100, then 150 becomes even easier. All of a sudden you'll sell right past 100 and now all of a sudden you're in the $200,000 mark and so forth and so forth. It's incredible how infectious it is and it just kind of keeps spiraling. But you definitely can do it. This market is so full of opportunity. It always makes my heart hurt when I see in my group people saying, is this right for me? Should I get out of the business? And then people jumping on, don't lose your day job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, lose your day job, cut all your ties, give yourself no options, go to work, do the hard stuff. I promise it will work out. And if you don't know what to do, that's why I do this every 2 weeks, is so that you guys can stay close to me so I can help you, okay? All right, any questions about that? I want to know where you all are from. So this is my city here with all this red dirt. I live in the bottom corner of Utah. But if you'll drop in the chat box, like where you're from and what city, state that you service, or maybe country if you're in Canada, or some of our people who are out of the country, this helps me see what my reach is and to make sure that I'm giving you accurate information. Always Texas, Denver, cool, very good. Harriman, hey, I lived in Harriman, very cool. Yeah, so thank you so much. This helps also too, so that we can kind of see where everyone's feeling this type of shifting. Some of it is smaller. Some people are not feeling it at all. But it's like I've been saying for the last couple of months, if you aren't, you will be. New York, super cool. Georgia, I'm always curious about New York, how they've recovered from COVID. Chelsea, are you anywhere you can unmute your mic?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I feel like New York was one that was really had a struggle, like coming out of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So are you still seeing list and sell there too, like really quickly, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
And now we're starting to see price drops as well.
Okay.
Everyone's changing their prices.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely starting to see the shift now.
Oh, good. Yeah. I just wondered, since they were so late to like follow along, you know, if it was going to be the same for feeling the shift. I think once the interest rates kind of switched, that really kind of set everybody into a little bit of a tailspin. So before we jump into that, thank you for that. I'm always curious. I don't really ever get a chance to talk to people in New York. But I always want to know. So here is how you thrive in this market: mindset, knowledge, and action. I have talked so much on mindset. I feel so terrible because my last master class was confidence. So if you were not on my last master class that was on confidence, I will be happy to send out a replay for you for that. And you are welcome to do that. I don't want to really hit it too much, just because I did do a confidence challenge for you for 30 days, just on how to boost your confidence. And I would recommend that you make that just a ritual. Like, that is just something that's very habitual for me. This morning I wasn't feeling super hot. So in my mind, I just was like, you know what, get up, get your hair done, get ready. You know, I just wasn't feeling it because I was sunburned and but you know what, it's a mindset thing where it's like, I still have a job to do. I've got people who are planning on me and who are waiting on me. So, you know, you do the things that you need to do. And you do them with intention. But the mindset, knowledge, and action are going to be our three things for sure we're going to talk about today. So mindset, there's two types. There's a fixed mindset, and then there's a growth mindset. Oh, investors, you got it. I'm going to hit all these questions here in the chat box when we finish up, I promise, especially the stuff about investors. Fixed mindset and growth mindset. So the fixed is like, I'll stick to what I know, either I'm good at or not, or the growth, which is I want to learn new things. I'm eager to take risks. Think about it when you walk into the training room at your brokerage, or, you know, and you just feel dumb, like you don't know what's going on, or you're not as skilled as some of the other agents. That's the difference between a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. You know, I'll be willing to unmute my mic so that I can put myself out there. It doesn't matter how dumb I feel, but it's important for me to just put myself out there, because that's how you gain the confidence, is by doing, right? So when you're talking about your desires, it's always interesting to me. We tend to scale ourselves back. We kind of like shrink ourselves. And that's what's so crazy, is for our little kids, like, we would tell them to dream big, anything is possible, yet we don't ever say that to ourselves. And I feel like that's so self-defeating, and it's just not self-serving at all. So make sure that in your mind, when you have these conversations, or you feel that urge to speak negatively to yourself, you have got to make the shift in your mind. And just, and if you have to, remember me saying, I would never do that. Like, we would never do that for our kids. Why are we doing that for us, right? But I really love the growth mindset. That's me. I want to learn and grow all the time. Like, I always want more and more and more. So with this market, learning about interest rates, who has been hearing the chatter about assumable loans? such a great opportunity. I remember last couple of years, every time I would sell a house and they would say this house has no, it doesn't have a, oh my gosh, what word am I trying to think of? Oh my gosh, what's the word? Why am I grasping for the word? Where a prepayment penalty. Then I would always follow it up with asking, is this loan assumable? This is how your buyers and sellers are going to be able to capitalize on 2, 3, 4% interest rates. Like, how nice is that to know that they could actually qualify for a mortgage that was better than what's happening right now at 6% or wherever it is today. Okay. So always learning a bit more about the opportunities. Now is the best time for you to be having great conversations with your lenders every week. If I were you, I would tell your lender, I would like to meet with you once a week so you can tell me what's going on in the market and what you're seeing as far as loans are concerned. Okay. You got to stay knowledgeable in that realm. Otherwise, you can't help your people because they're panicking and you won't be able to eloquently speak to them in a way that's going to make sense to them. Or if you're getting an objection, take the objection to the lender and ask them, how can I combat this? What's the best way for me to package this so that I can respond to it appropriately? Okay. Okay, the next one is, let's see, effort. Yes, this is a waste of time. There's a lot to figure out. Oh my gosh, real estate has so much shiny things and I happen to be one of them, right? Like, for you to take an hour out of your time to give to me so that I can teach you. That's why I try to pack so much into 1 hour, because I want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck. Because it's so important to really keep your skills super sharp, especially in this market. So thinking to yourself, I always call myself, I'm the figure this shit out kind of gal. Sorry about my language, but that's just me. Like, I am just always going to figure it out. So the growth mindset is, I know this will help me, even though it is difficult, right? Oh, sorry, it is difficulty. That's a typo. But I'm always going to figure it out, even if it's hard. It's okay if it's hard, and it might take me a little bit longer. That's okay. Maybe I'm not as smart. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm a little bit slow. It's totally fine. I'm going to figure it out though. Okay. In the setbacks mentality, I feel like we get a lot of this, and we especially were getting it a ton during with all the buyers, right? Trying to write all the offers for all the buyers, and we kept getting rejected and rejected. It's so annoying. But a fixed mindset says it's easier just to give up, right? I saw so many DMs in the Facebook group where people like, well, I just fired them. It's like, okay, it's not about the client. Like, if you're not doing our job right, if they lose interest, it's because we haven't done our job. We haven't explained to them this is going to be a process. It's going to take time. But a growth mentality would be, I'll use another strategy. My mistakes help me learn. So that's where, like, the escalation clauses became so important, and everybody was learning about those. So in this market here, where we have where we've got a smaller buyer pool, like the buyers are going to slowly go away, the opportunity now becomes in thinking outside the box. Think of all the builders who have stuff coming out of the ground. Like, has there ever been a time where they're going to need us more? About 2 months ago, they wanted to give us the middle bird, right? Like, they're like, we don't need you. We're not paying you. Okay, well, now all of a sudden we're pretty smart. I'm seeing 4% BACs come back up on the market. Pretty interesting. So it's just about thinking outside the box. So I let my clients know, hey, just so you know, this is a great opportunity. If you want to make a move up, now is the time where you could actually get that brand new house that you were wanting to get. And we've got some motivated sellers for sure. Our builders are going to be highly motivated. So you may be able to capitalize on that. Okay. Super fun. The next one is your feedback. So this is a tough one for people, especially like me, my personality. It's hard for me. This work is boring. No one likes to do it. Or the growth mindset is, I recognize my weakness and I know what to fix. It's very hard for me to admit when I'm wrong. It's like I know that sounds shocking, but it's so true. Like, a headstrong person, my personality is very, I'm an expressive personality and I'm a driver. So the last thing I like to do is admit when I'm wrong. But I also know that the sooner that I can figure out that I was wrong, the quicker I can move forward in learning what works, so that I can say my favorite word, next, and I move on rather quickly. I think next is such a great word to adopt for sure. Let's see. If you want a quick way to help you. Oh, I love all these questions. I'm totally going to get to your questions. Give me just a few minutes and I'm going to hit those and I'll make sure I answer them. The last one is your talented peers. This goes back to jealousy. Lots of women are jealous. Lots of women are jealous. So we have to be really careful. I think people in general, just, it's hard to see that, but it's easy for him or her. They were born smart. Like think about your siblings. Which sibling is the smartest? Maybe it's you. It wasn't me. Growth mindset is, I wonder how they did it. Let me try to figure this out. Like I said, I'm the figure this shit out gal. Like that's me. I'm gonna see what you have and I'm gonna see what you got. That's why if ever you do a coaching call with me, we won't ever just jump on and just like talk about what the problem is. I want to know where you're at in your business because I'm gonna figure it out. It's a process, but I'm always going to strive to figure a way to make it work. So in this market, that's why I said when we first started, I said to you, decide today you're going to make it. Just decide. I'm not going to be a statistic, not going to be one of the 87% that quit. The Q word is not even in my vocab, not even one tiny bit. We don't ever quit. We just keep moving forward, and if you struggle or you've got problems, then you just message me and I'll help you. But don't quit. Don't give up. So the next one is knowledge. So the first one is mindset, right? And then the second one is going to be knowledge. And I wanted to get on my MLS today, but our MLSs all look so different. But here's what's going to become most important. And I know this, especially for our newer agents that are new to the market, this is a way for you to show up for your people and not have to feel uncomfortable that you don't have the years of experience. Because guess what? Most real estate agents have never been through this cycle before. So even if they've got 10 years experience, they still weren't in the recession 10 years ago. Okay, does that make sense? So you're right there in there with them. So don't stress about that. Your market statistics are going to become a big deal. The interest rates. I don't ever want to know one thing about a loan program. Sorry, I am like anything loan related. I'm like, well, that's my lender. And you know what? I am going to be stepping outside of my field of expertise if I start to speak on that, but I'll be more than happy to have them give you a call, which is really the most important thing. But I still need to be able to speak eloquently about the fact that yes, interest rates have risen. Yes, it has affected our market. There is a benefit to you and here's why. I want you guys to think about this for a second. When interest rates were at 2%, okay, and prices were still climbing, right? Like we still had super, super high prices and people were buying at 2%. Just think about it this way. What happens if something happens in their life or in their family? God bless them if they do, but if something happens and they can't make their payment, they can no longer refinance because they're already so low. They're already so low. So for our people that are getting an interest rate at 6%, you guys have heard the buzzwords going around on the internet. You marry the house, not the rate, right? They have an opportunity to refinance. So what? Just refinance it. Hang on to it for 6 months and refinance it out. It's the number one question we should be asking the lender when we're pre-qualifying them is this something they can refi out? But yes, that's a way for us to stay knowledgeable with them and get them into the home that they want. But I am more worried for the people that have the 2% interest rates myself. I'm just being honest. That makes me nervous. The absorption rate. Anybody know what the absorption rate is? The number of supply of homes that we have on the market versus how they're at versus what's actually selling. So in a good, healthy market, we had here in my area, we had about 1,200 homes on the market at any one time. And then during this craziness, we had about 225. That absorption rate is just less than, that's days, So knowing how the inventory, like every single Monday or whatever day is your highest listing day, are you guys seeing your inventory starting to grow? The inventory will grow, your gap is going to get wider and wider to the time that they can actually go under contract to the time that they actually sell. So this is an opportunity. That's an opportunity for your buyers now to be able to pick a house that they actually love instead of feeling like they're forced into something that fit within a budget. Such a huge opportunity. And then for your sellers, this is a great opportunity for them too. And here's what I said to my seller the other day. this is a great opportunity for you. Can I tell you why? Because there's only 4 other houses that are listed on the market that are going in at the price that ours is, and we're going to be the lowest one right there along with them. And so we're just waiting for one of the buyers to actually accept your price and move forward, because we know it's worth it. We know based on square footage, we know based on bedrooms, baths, it's the exact same. But I'm now teaching my clients to get realistic on price. You know, there's not going to be any other question. And then the other reason why it's a great opportunity for buyers and sellers is we're actually going to know what clients think about the home. Before we just put it on the market, we just got offers. Who knew if they liked it or not? They were just trying to fit it in a budget. You list a house right now, it sits on the market for 14 days and you get 0 showings and 0 offers, overpriced. Thank the Lord, we finally have something to go by, because appraisers are doing their best, right? We're all kind of like guessing as to like where the top is or where the bottom is. And now all of a sudden, now we're getting back into like a normal market where we're actually feeling what buyers and sellers are actually saying about the homes, which is, that's our specialty. You know, that's our specialty. We are not specialty in interest rates or, you know, the guess and buy like that. That's a horrible, that's a hard market to be in, you know? So I want you to look at this one as a really huge opportunity. The last one is your days on market. You've got to know your days on market. Every Monday, I would tell you to pull up your stats every Monday and take a look at what that's doing and then track it. You could track the absorption rate, the days on market, and then what your overall listing inventory looks like right now, built in standing, not with your builders, built in standing, and track those stats. And what's cool is then when you go to your next listing appointment, you want to know something great? I've been tracking this. Look what's happening. You know, here's our inventory climbing. Here's our days on market climbing. This is good news for you. Let me explain why. Okay. This makes you so much smarter. It makes you so much smarter, especially if you're new. You make it really, really super easy and to explain it really easily, and they'll be very appreciative. So understanding these key areas will be critical for both those buyers and the sellers. It's not just going to turn into a buyer market. It actually is for sellers too. I kind of hit on this already, the urgency to get realistic on price, or it may sit on the market a little longer than what the client would like. My client, when I suggested a price of $475, she's like, I'm like, oh, what is that face? She's like, well, we were hoping to get 5. I said, okay. I said, I figured you'd probably say that. I said, take a look at these homes. This is who's currently on the market. Anything that's 500,000, you know, and then I just tell her, like, give her the numbers. This is exactly what it is. And she's like, okay. I'm like, so can you see that if we list at 500, you're just going to sit? I'm like, and you can't do that, right? You got to be moved in 2 months. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do that. You know, so we don't list at that price, $25,000, you know, it's because it's the truth. And if you show them the comps the right way, then they'll understand. So for buyers, the inventory is increasing. So that's the opportunity in a motivated seller or a builder who's nervous about the rates or whatever is going on with the builders. I've already kind of hit this again. Assumable loans. If you don't know what assumable loans are, get a hold of your lender and have a conversation with them about what it takes to actually assume a loan. It's just for the amount, and then they have to qualify, of course, but they could actually take over the rate and term of a previous mortgage, which is super cool. Okay, next up is action. This is your go time. I love that everybody comes to my master classes, but I hope you don't sit in on master classes all week long, every single day, because you have got to be a doer. I know people who it's kind of like being in college and all you do is you're in college for like 15 years and you never actually go out and use your certificate. That's kind of the same thing with the real estate business. Like, make sure that you take what you're going to learn today and you just at least implement one thing. You know, it's better than nothing. But I would always make sure that you've got to make sure that you have an action plan, and that's going to be the other part that will help push you through. So the question is, where will I find business? So I put these up here just so that you could kind of see a few ideas. I have that spreadsheet, which I've sent out several times, and I can send it out with a replay that shows you all the areas and different legs of business where you can find buyers and sellers. The challenge sometimes is like we get stumped and we overthink it too much, and so we don't reach out. So for my SOI, it's people that I know, and it's also people that I've done business with. So my cleaner, my hairdresser, my nail person, my eyelash person, right? Like all the people I give my business to, my kids' haircuts, my kids' spray tans, my kids, right? Like I give business to all those people. Think about how many people you guys give business to. And business is a reciprocating event. So here I am pouring all this money into my people. Where's my business coming back from them? If I don't ask, I'll never get it. I'll never get it. So people that you have done business with, that's a big one for me. I love all my people that I've done business with. And then I remind them, hey, don't forget, I'm still in the real estate business. Just so you know, don't forget, I'm like over here. Okay, it doesn't have to be a slimy, way to drop in that you're still in real estate. Just remind them. And then people that you give business to, that's who that is. And then your community, continue to educate the community. Your social media should at least have once a week letting them know about the market. At least one tidbit a week, letting them know what's going on with the interest rates and how this is a benefit to you. And then showing them up for them on their socials and community events with a strong message. I messaged one of the gals in the group. She was asking me for some questions on like, what can she say at the 4th of July parade? I told her, I'm like, go get a little takeaway and go pass them out at the 4th of July parade. You're going to see a bazillion people out there that day, and all it has to be is something small. Don't use your business cards because they're expensive. Don't use those. Make it yourself a little square. Cut yourself off a little square. That's what I did. I'll drop in an example of something that I did here in our community, so you guys can kind of see. But it was just showing support for the local law enforcement, and then it had my team name on it and a piece of candy. Okay, it doesn't have to be big, but they want to know that you are actually supporting and that, oh yes, I did see them. They were out, at the 4th of July parade or whatever. But a strong message is super important, and it should show who you are. So new business. So find one area of business that you currently aren't tapping into and begin building a system around it. Systems are the hardest things, I think, for me, because I'm not analytical by nature. So if you don't currently call expireds, or you don't currently call for sell by owners, or you don't currently circle prospect, or you don't farm, the list that I'll send out for you, the Excel spreadsheet, it literally is just like a dump of all the places that you can tap into do business. But I don't want you to get overwhelmed by what you see there, because I have my repeat referral, my SOI. I have the people that I give business to, and then I have people I've done business with in the past, in my past closed clients. So, I mean, that's really, I don't prospect anymore for new business. I don't prospect that stuff. So don't get overwhelmed by the fact that there's so many spaces or places that you can go get business that you don't do anything, because that's the paralysis analysis, right? For all my analytical people, don't do that. And if you get stuck, message me. I'll get you unstuck, I promise. So here's something interesting. When your homeowners say, I don't want to list right now because I am going to lose money. I have lost, like the market is going down. It's terrible. Okay, they have just realized 10 years of appreciation. And if you have not owned a home yet, I promise you 10 years of appreciation takes a long time to gather that, where you actually have this nice little nest egg that you can go and roll it into something else and move. So the fact that they just had 10 years and 2.5 years, they haven't lost any money. They don't realize any loss until they actually sell, okay? So as long as they sit there and keep riding the market, okay, well, if you wanted to make a move up, now would be a great opportunity to do that, because the longer you wait, the less your house is going to be worth based on what the current conditions are doing. So it's very, very important for you to think that like there is a perspective for both sides, I promise you. And both of them are very advantageous. We just have to think about what is the goal of the client. How many, I've also got my pre-qualification list. I think pre-qualifying these clients is like, of course, that's my number one thing is pre-qualifying, but I'm happy to put that in there too. We have to pre-qualify these clients to see what their motivation is so that we know where they're, like, what is their goal? What's their end goal? Because if they don't care and they're not highly motivated, then no, you shouldn't be working with them. But if they are concerned about making a move up or they've owned their house for quite some time, then now would be a great time for them to sell. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So where will you find business? This is what I was talking about your processes. So write down, if you don't have a process already, you don't have to do it right now, but I'd like you to put together your own lead follow-up process. If you don't have one, make one. So these are all the prospect places, which I'll show you on that list, but your lead follow-up, like your first one should be a call, and if they don't answer, a text. Second one, a call, if they don't answer, a text. Third one, call and an email, and then a call. Guess what? They don't usually answer until that 7th call. Isn't that nuts? But yet we give up on number 2 or number 1. I was talking to a cute marketer, if she's on here today, I was talking to a cute marketer over the weekend on Friday, who said that she gave an agent 250 leads and then another gal 50 leads in a month, and told them to call, and both of them called her back and said they are crap. These are crap. She's like, really? She's like, yeah, they're terrible. And she's like, huh. So then she went back and she's like, how, I'm going to call behind them and just see how they are. She's like, I set 3 appointments for the one that had 250, and I set 2 appointments for the gal with the 50. So she's like, well, what were you saying to them? She's like, well, I gave up after I called like 25 people. They never answered. Come on, don't quit. If you pay for leads and you're not getting through them, shame on you. Your parent, your husband or your kids should be ticked at you because you're throwing money in the trash can. Don't waste your money. We work too hard to get it, but make sure that you have some type of a lead follow-up system. Okay. I would say, I even have like a canned what we say, because we have a system that does this, but we have like a text, and we have an email of exactly what it says. One of the ones I like the most is on a how would you rate your motivation, an A, B, or C, as far as like you're looking now, you're not really interested, or you're just shopping. I like that so much because it gives them an opportunity to not have to answer me other than do an A, B, C, and they always come back with whatever it is that they're looking for. Then that gives me a reason to call them and what to say. So that's your lead follow-up. So success is doing the important things daily, every single day, every day, consistently, and practice like you've never won and play like you've never lost. I don't like to lose. And I like to practice. I like to not just practice, but I like to win, So that's why I say your mindset has to be that you're going to win. I believe that you guys can. I just know you need some guidance on how to get there, and that's totally fine. But keeping your mindset straight that you're a winner and you're gonna make it work is gonna be a big deal. And then how will you compete with other agents out there? I know some of the newer agents struggle with this, but your attitude, know your numbers, your intentional follow-up, and want it more than they do. I won my very first for sale by owner listing because I wanted it more than they did. I told them I don't have any other listings. The other person has like 35 listings. You'd be my number 1 client, but you'd get all my attention. I just want an opportunity. I just want a shot. Give me a shot, right? And I got it, and I sold it. So be honest with people and want it more. Show up prepared and be ready. So the 5 things that you should be doing every single day: read, do something motivational every day on your mindset. Just even if it's just reading a book for 15 minutes, something positive. Everyone knows I love that Cleo Wade Heart Talk book. That's my most favorite book ever. It's actually in the poems section at Barnes & Noble. It's not really poems, but it's this, I can open it up to any page and it's positive. It makes me feel better. And second is review your market stats so that you can begin calling. And if you don't know how to do that, message me and I'll help you go through which ones are the most important. Review your market stats once a week. And then my next one would be to contact 5 people in your sphere and do a check-in. Hey, just checking in on you. Are you dying? What's happening with this real estate market? It's crazy. Pique their interest. Say something. Just care about them. Check in on them. Just want to see how your house is working out for you. Any questions that you have for me, or if you haven't sold them anything, just want to let you know I am still in the real estate business. Despite all the buzz that's going on around the country, I'm excited about this opportunity that I have to be in this market. It's infectious, I promise. And then the next one is follow up on all remaining leads. My gosh, don't ever let a lead die. That is money in the toilet. Don't let it lead die. Not only that, it makes them feel bad that you didn't actually follow up with them. Well, I called her and told her I was interested and I never heard from her. Huh, her loss, right? And then the last one is add one person to your database every day. Build your database. Like, I mean, I think we have a little over 10,000 people now in our database. Build your database. You know, when you meet somebody, if you just meet them in the checkout line or whatever, you guys all know my one line that I say, do you currently have a real estate professional that keeps you in touch with the market? And my favorite, I want the objection. I want them to say, yes, I know 7 realtors. You do? Me too. Me too. I just want to be your backup plan. Here's what I know. Most agents are going to get out of the business in the next year or two. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I just want to be the backup plan. What's a good email? I'd love to stay in touch. Easy, very easy. Okay, you have to have some humor in this business a little bit. Be light, you know, and they'll follow you. It's attractive, promise. But build that database. So if you were on the confidence class last week, I put Ed Milet's. Who had a chance to listen to Eddie Milet's thing that I put in there? If you didn't read it or if you didn't watch it, it's like my most favorite motivational talk I've probably ever heard, and it's about baseball. So it may not impress everybody because it's about baseball, but he says in there, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and that is no different. If you keep a messy car, you probably keep a messy house, right? It's fact. It's okay, you know, but how you do one thing, even you're practicing, is how you do everything. So making sure that through this market, you're going to make sure that every single day you do even if you just did half of what I told you to do. I promise you'd be outdoing what most agents do, I promise. But it's how you find the business. And then make sure that you have that daily plan. That's the, you know, what you're intentionally going to do every single day. You're going to prospect, you're going to do mindset work. 15 minutes, you only need it for 15 minutes, promise, the mindset work. But you should be prospecting 2 hours a day, 2 hours. And I only tell you that you need to work like 5 hours a day. Like you can do this business in less than 5 hours a day. You really can, I promise. But be very intentional about your time so that you're focused and that you actually make it worth your while. I want to get to your questions. So hang on one second. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Let me get to the chat real fast. I wanted to see what you said in here. I know there's a couple good ones about 12 years in the bid now. Oh, bless her. Vanessa, you and your cute 2, 4, and 6. My goodness, you got young babies. Investors, I will for sure. I'm trying to think. I just did that master class. I could probably just put the recording in there if you'd like to watch the investor class again, because it really is going to be the difference. I teach you a little bit on how to figure out cap rates. So if you don't know how to do a cap rate, this is something that will make you feel very, very empowered when you have a conversation with them, because they may have their way to do it, but I always tell them, I know you have your way to do it because you have time to pull up what the electricity bill was and pull what the water was. But I'm a real estate agent and I see 150 houses that come across my desk every single day. So for me, I have to have a good formula that's consistent, so that if we do find one that actually fits the number that we like, then I can go and do the extra work on it. And I always tell them, you don't want me to send you the stuff that's crap, do you? And they're like, no. Okay, good. Because I don't want to sell you crap, because I won't. You know, I'm only going to sell you the ones that are good. So really working on those, that formula is a big deal. And it just takes time to learn it, but it's in the recording. So I definitely can send that to you. I evaded my license for the first time ever on June 27th. Please let me know how to find investors. Oh, I love this. Okay, go to the title company and ask for unoccupied unit owners. It just depends on how they're done in your area, or multifamily unit owners, duplexes, fourplexes. You can even do townhouses, as long as you can rent in there. But you don't ever want to door knock those because they typically don't live in them. So you have to actually do a mail out, or you need to get a phone list, and you can ask your title company if they can get a hold of those for you. But yes, get a hold of the investors. Your title people are your number one source right there. Do you have any suggestions or resources to learn about working with investors? Okay, I'll send out that replay so you guys have that. Let's see. Anyone else have any questions on today? How about on the market? Replay the confidence class. I can definitely send the replay to the confidence. There was a confidence challenge. Did anybody do the confidence challenge? 30 days? 2 weeks? Make it a week? No? I know it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Nicole,
Yeah.
can you real quick, you had talked about the absorption rate. How did you calculate that again?
Okay, so it is, let me get out of my, if I can figure out how to get on my screen. Let me stop sharing this right quick. Let me show you real fast. So if you go to your MLS, like all of your MLSs are a little bit different. Your absorption rate is the number of listings that are currently on the market versus what is actually selling every single month. And then that will tell you what the number of supply of homes there are that are actually on the market. So let me see if I can find ours. Market trends. Year-over-year comparison. Let's see. I think this will kind of give you an idea. Let me just share my screen one more time. So first of all, do you know where your stats are on your MLS?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
No.
Screen. How about now? Oh, I got to hit the share button. That helps.
There you go.
Okay. So, so you can go to, like, when you're looking at this column, so total active. So last year there was 131, this year 126. These are just condos. Let's see. I'm trying to see. We actually have another spot that would do the absorption rate. I like this percentage of list too, like what percentage they're actually gaining. So as the market starts to switch backwards, as it starts to go back, you'll start to see that your list to sold price is actually going to be lower too. Let me see. Oh my God, I don't know how to do this without sharing the screen. You know what? When I send out the replay, I'll do a screen recording for you on our MLS so I can kind of show you that. But basically it is just the total, like it's your however month supply of homes that you actually have on the market. So like when we had 1,200 to 1,400 homes on the market, we had about a 4.5 to 5 month supply of homes on the market based on, you know, however many sell each month. Okay. So, and then when, but now that we're down to like, well, now we're at like about 550 or 600 homes on the market, I think, you know, now we're starting to grow. It's like a 2 month supply. So it's doing better. Like and once you start to see that number grow, that's how you know that, hey, we've got so much inventory on the market. That's why the sellers have to become really realistic about their price, is because they've got more competition. So really your absorption rate is just the number of homes, the number of homes per month that you have the ability to sell. But if no other homes come on the market, that's how many months of supply we have. Hope that makes sense. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. What else? Have you found a quick way to help your client figure out if their current loan has prepayment penalty, especially if it has been a while since they closed and they have no idea where their paperwork is? You can call title and see who's recorded the lien. Just call and find out what mortgage company has the lien on the property. I just have all my stuff in my past sales, so I know who I sold the home to. But if it's something that I did never do, just contact the title company, give them the address. You can just shoot them an email and just give them the address and say, hey, I'm looking to see who recorded the lien on this so that I can find out who their mortgage company is. Hopefully that helps. However, what does the interest rates just keep rising? If the interest rates keep rising, well, there's a few things that are going to happen. These assumable loans are going to become a really, really hot commodity, you know, because what's going to end up happening there is as prices increase or the interest rates increase, it will naturally drive prices down. Okay. And so when they naturally drive prices down, not everybody needs a mortgage. There's people out there who can actually pay cash for their home or have enough equity in their home that they will be the ones that will be capitalizing on this market. That's all. It's just a shift in who the buyer or the seller is going to be. I can remember being a little girl, my parents almost losing their house. Everybody remember their parents talking about that, the 18% interest rates and whatever. I can remember my parents almost losing their home and it going to foreclosure. And, they ended up having to just buy a house on contract. So you just these are the things where you just figure it out. This is how we invented escalation clauses during the market that was going like this. So you'll be really, you'll see a lot of inventive ways on how real estate is still going to be sold, but really cash will still be king. And people who have more cash, and don't need the financing as much, they're going to capitalize, which is what happened in, after the recession for sure. What specific things would be tracking when looking at stats? Oh, okay. So I look at how many houses come on the market every single day. That number becomes very important because I know on Mondays, that is my biggest inventory influx. When I lived in Salt Lake, it was on Fridays. Why is this important? Because when my clients want to come into town on a Friday and come look at property, I tell them that is a huge waste of time. You need to come on Monday because everything is gone by Friday. Our new inventory comes in on Monday. So knowing what your market is doing and like what is your number one list day? And it's really great, thing for you to know. But for me, it's how I stave off weekend showings for sure. That's the first thing I look at, how many come on the market. I look at how many back on the markets there are. Just want to see, like, are we getting like 8 or 9, or we got like 25 houses that are falling out of contract? If they're falling out of contract, there's a reason why, probably because financing failed. They no longer qualify for the house that they have at the current interest rate. I don't know. There's got to be some reasons for that, but I pay attention to that. When I'm on a listing appointment, it's different. When I'm on a buyer appointment, it's different. On a listing appointment, I'm paying attention to the current comps like normal. And then I actually look at it in the view of the eye of the buyer, how the house falls on the market. So when I list it, where will it be placed in comparison to all the other houses that are similar to theirs? Am I number 1? Am I number 3? Am I number 8? Because then that means to me, 8 houses have to sell before mine, price wise, or it better be dang nice, So I pay attention to those stats if it was a seller. Would this recording be shared? Yes. Questions. What is the circle prospecting? Oh, how is everyone farming these days outside of snail mail? Yes. So circle prospecting is just picking a house that's recently sold or recently been listed or whatever, and grabbing a number, a radius of phone numbers or addresses around it. And you can get that through your title company as well. Just tell them that you want. I like to do it by subdivision. In my area, subdivisions are really easy. So if I want to prospect, say, Colorview Townhomes, I just ask them for all the Colorview townhouses, and she'll send me like 255 houses. So I really like to zero in on just the subdivision, because now I'm comparing just that development with itself, because I have my favorites. So circle prospecting is nothing other than calling around a listing. Organizing community events. I'm currently farming my neighborhood, organizing community events, weekly community market updates via email, and coordinating mailings. That's super cool. Just make sure you don't go broke with your postage. You should be partnering with a lender or a insurance professional, gathering as many people as you can to put their name on there, so that becomes a zero cost for you. So make sure that you circle in partners for that, Krista, because that is. There you are, because I don't want you to end up broke just doing postage, and then they'll also pay for your mailers too. Promise. Just ask them. Say, are you interested in co-branding? I'm going to be doing a mail out, and I've got a couple vendors. I'd be happy to share the cost with you. Or do you want to cover them? Go there first, and then let them decide if they want to cover it or not. Let's see, so that would be great. Sometimes it's hard to know what pre-qualifying questions to ask. Yes, I'll send out my pre-qualification list. I am for buyers and for sellers. You stop reaching out when they die or get a restraining order. That's hilarious. Tara, on your when to stop reaching out. Right, like it's fine. if they unfollow me, my favorite thing to do is send a blast out about a house that we just listed, because I'll inevitably get 5 or 6 people that will opt out of our automated emails. Great, thank you. Like I'm grateful for that. Thank you. Now I don't have to waste my time when you don't answer your phone, right? It's totally fine. Let's see what else. This has been so helpful. Having info guidelines on how to start literally a brand new baby agent on like week 4, coming from teaching with a great team, but still feeling a little wonky. Oh, I get it, Caitlin. No, it's hard. I've got a few things, like a few master classes that I can share with you, but really it's going to be you just doing the work and getting on there and diving in and learning as fast as you can. The one thing that you should always, I would tell you to learn the pre-qualification script right away. Because if you can know that, you'll be just fine. You'll be able to go take buyers and sellers out. The rest of it you can just learn as you go, but you got to know how to pre-qualify. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting your time. And I'll be sending that out. The one-liner verbiage. Oh, for the meeting of yes. So do you currently have a real estate professional who keeps you in touch with the market? That's my one-liner. I use it all the time. Do you currently have a real estate professional who keeps you in touch with the market? And remember, when they say yes, they know several, say fantastic, me too. Because we do. I know thousands. So there you go. So yes, I'd like the investor masterclass. Sure. Yes, I need the confidence challenge. Okay, you got it. I'll send that out too. Interest rates just keep rising. What's the answer to date the rate when the rates just keep rising? I have no idea. You want to know something about that, Caitlin? I don't even pay attention to that. My mindset is such that I'm going to get mine every week. That is my goal. One deal a week, regardless of what the interest rates are doing. It's totally fine. We do need to know what they're doing, but it's not going to stop me from getting my work. Okay. So I can't do the what if, because what if I stepped in front of a train tomorrow? Does it really matter? And I just stress myself out. I just stress myself out, and it's not going to happen. So I would always advocate for you to stay positive with your mindset. Don't pay attention to all the craziness going on around you, and just stay focused on what you need to do daily every single day. And that will help you. Yes, tax records. I know the title company can tell me the lender, but I don't want to call the lender or have the seller call the lender and tip their hand. Yep, in case it's not assumable loan. So I wonder if there's a backdoor way to find out. Why would you be tipping your hand? Who is that? Delise. How are you? Did you hop off, Delise?
There we go. I tried to get my mute off.
There you are.
So I just, because sometimes when you're just trying to find out whether or not the loan is assumable, but so let's say it's not assumable, you don't want the lender panicking and thinking that you're trying to do something sneaky, and then they call the note due. Like, that's just not a situation I want to put my seller in.
Yeah.
So I want to know if there's a way to, like, if there was some kind of public record or something that would tell us that kind of information.
Yeah,
so
I
there
don't
may
know.
not be, but
I don't know. I can ask. I'll ask my gal, but honestly, like I wouldn't even feel bad about that. Like I wouldn't even think that way. I don't think that you'd be tipping their hand that they were going to call on the note. Like they signed a document saying that they have to stay, unless they were like, 6 months in the rears, then now we got a situation, but they should be really happy to speak with you. So here's the thing is during the recession, we did so many short sales, so many, that they were actually like glad that we reached out to them. They want the dialogue, because what homeowners don't do is they stop returning their calls. So they actually want the dialogue, and they would rather sit there and try to figure it out with you than have you go dark and get your clients in trouble, for sure.
okay.
So I think that's just a mindset shift a little bit there, but I'll check with my lender and see if there's a way that you can kind of see that stuff. Interesting though.
I may be worried about something that's, like you said, not even an issue, but the few times I've dealt with assumable loans, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you could, but, and it just always made me feel weird. And so I just didn't want to do something that would put my client in a bad position.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, bye lender, I need a new lender. One that's more confident than that. Like, don't ever tell my clients, I'd be like, you better be confident. Don't freak me out, because if you're not confident for my people, now I'm nervous. Sheesh. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for answering that.
I'll find out. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. How do you help your buyers find a house when there is low inventory in your area and they don't have many options to choose from? Boy, you got to be on that hot sheet every single day. On that hot sheet every single day. And I would put yourself up on alert. Like our alerts don't come through till 9 o'clock at night. So it sucks. Like by the time I would get an alert, it wouldn't work. But if you're in a market that you can actually get immediate alerts, then I would set myself up on alert so that you don't ever miss a thing. And then it's really important for you just to have a conversation with them that if they're unavailable to go take a look at the property, that you're going to go preview it for them. That it costs them nothing to write an offer, but it is putting yourself in line. We've got to get your foot in the door. And if we can't get your foot in the door, I can't help you, you know? So getting them to be really comfortable with the fact that you're writing an offer, and that we want to make sure that, you know, we're having an opportunity, because until you get something accepted, you don't even have a shot. Like you don't even have an opportunity to even like it. Like my favorite is when my clients were like, oh, I didn't really like that one anyway. It's like, well, good, because you weren't going to get it. Like you didn't even have your foot in the door, you know? So yeah, making sure that you watch that hot sheet is going to be really, really important. And then you can always call a subdivision, call yourself, call around a house that they like and see if you can find a seller who wants to sell. Be proactive. Like, hey, I'm just giving you a call. I've got a client who's actually interested in buying in this subdivision. We missed out the other day. So I'm just calling all the owners in the area to see if anyone is interested in selling. Easy peasy. Like just give it to them straight. I'll send the pre-qual out for sure. You're so welcome. Positive mindset reading list. I'll be happy to send that out. Anyone else have any other questions? Good questions today. Really good. I'm happy to help. If you think of something, feel free to reach out, but I'll be sure to send out the recording. The thing is my recordings only last for a week. So when you watch them, you got to watch them. Otherwise they get shut off.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
Yes. 1 week. Yeah. Otherwise, Zoom is not really friendly to me. They don't love that I've got a bazillion master classes running open. So I'll send out the confidence. I'll send out the investor one. I'll probably put the investor one. Maybe I'll put that one on my YouTube. I'll put that one on my YouTube so that I don't have to host that one. When I have to host it in Zoom, it's a little bit different. But and then the pre-qualification script, and then the confidence challenge. Those 4 things. Okay, that sound good? You got it. The positive mindset reading list. Yeah, you got it. Well, this is just my favorite book. It's Cleo Wade Heart Talk. My most favorite book on the planet. I call this one my real estate life Bible. Hopefully that's not offensive to anybody, but it's just because I love it so much and I refer to it all the time. And it's a good small read for me that I can put it in my purse. I literally have 4 copies. But I can have it in my purse just in case I need it for the day or I feel like I'm needing a little pick me up. I have to give myself my own love sometimes. So I would tell you to do that too. Heart Talk right there at the top. Heart Talk by Cleo Wade. She's super cute. She used to be the editor-in-chief, I think, for Teen Vogue. She's beautiful, like a beautiful, she's got the coolest hair on the planet. I think she's just super cool. But anyways, I quite like them. So hopefully you guys are able to get that book. It's really it's a great one. Any questions, let me know. If that's it, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. But you can always email me. So showupnikkib@gmail.com. You can always email me. I'm easy to catch on Instagram. Facebook is a little harder because it's so deep in there and because of my Facebook group. But if you aren't a member of the Real Estate Talk for Women Facebook group, I'd highly recommend you jump in there, especially for you newer agents. Oh my gosh, like you are getting like years of knowledge and experience, but don't troll in there too long because I know how that works too, where we just get stuck online. So, but yeah, make sure that you join the group if you haven't joined it yet. And if you're waiting, you can drop your name in the chat if you're still waiting to get in. Because I think I had 1,000 people in there on Friday and we haven't put anyone else in there over the weekend. So if you're still waiting, just drop your name in the chat and I'll make sure that you get accepted. But other than that, you guys are awesome too. Thank you so much. Oh, Tara, I got you. I'll make sure that you get in there. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of the week. It's a short week. Yay. Short weeks. So go get your deal. One deal. You just need one. Thank you. Bye, Delise. Take care.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Cute.